Good afternoon. My name's Rick Hill, and this is the Cooking with the Doctor show. We're live at the Oasis of Hope Health Center here in Tijuana, Mexico. I'm drinking freshly made hibiscus juice, and there are probably 15 or 20 of the cancer patients and their companions here in the dining room. And what we're going to do is show you each week some ideas on how to cook healthier. Now, 80%, especially those of you patients that are new and you're just getting into your program, about 80% of what you eat should be raw and uncooked. However, that 20% still should be nutritional. And I define nutritional as organic, gluten-free, cooked below 186 degrees, and as good a food, like for example, pork is not my idea of a high quality food. It should be a high quality food. So what we're going to do today is a spaghetti squash. I think you've all seen the spaghetti squash. This one happens to be organic, as all the vegetables that we use are. And what we're going to do is we have cook tables here that are magnetic. Those are going to be on our website. By the way, what is our website? There it is. You're going to want to write that website down. That's www.cancersupportshow. There's a few things I don't have done on that site quite yet, but there are blogs there that you can read. There are Cooking with the Doctor shows that have already been posted. There are like 8 podcasts that you can listen to. And what's that for? I'll tell you what that's for. That is for you to be able to not get slaughtered when you get home. See, I was here 39 years ago, and I know, by the way, what I'm doing, just so you know, is I'm putting paper towel in the bottom of this pan. Here's our platinum water unit. So what I'm going to do is just let that, I'll give it a little bit more. And the purpose of this is that if you're cooking things like carrots or squash, they have a sugar value in them. And we're not using oil, we're not using anything like that. That's all the water we're going to steam this with. I did 2 of them earlier, and they are good to go. They are beautiful. And I'm going to put this on at a very low heat. Let me define low heat. Anybody want to come up and check this? It's 3. So if you're using an electric stove, this would be on a very low heat. Why do we do that? Because we want to keep the degrees below about 186 degrees. Why? Because if you start going above 186 degrees, now you're boiling. Or you think steaming is very healthy. But if you steam something, the enzymes get removed. A lot of the vitamins get removed. If you nuke it, that's 400 degrees, you can actually kill the protein level in that food. So what we want to do is teach you to use low heat, and with this kind of cookware, it cooks just as fast, if not faster, than with regular cookware. But we don't ever want to go over, if we can, 186 degrees. Now what I have here is a spaghetti squash, and it is organic. You know that because the PLU number begins with a 4. And that tells you that it is, in fact, the regulatory agency says that it is organic. So what we're going to do is cut this in half. And a lot of people think, oh man, I'm not doing this for lunch. No, it is more simple than you think. Another country heard from. Let me move this off here. I meant to, there you go, that's what I wanted to do. So what I have here is the spaghetti squash. And if you've ever opened a pumpkin, where does your close camera go? There you go. If you've ever opened a pumpkin, you're familiar with what's on the inside. That needs to be removed, and I want to show you a fairly simple way to do that, because I've seen people hack at it with knives, and they're usually using 4-letter words that we don't want to use here at Oasis. by the time they get through with it. So what you need is a good stout metal spoon, or you can use one out of the silverware drawer. But all we're going to do is start getting rid of that inside. And if you turn the spoon just a little, it tends to work a little better. I had a person visit our house the other night because we do spaghetti squash about 2 or 3 times a week at our house. And she forgot to take the insides out. And she cooked it, called me on the phone and said, I'm just not enjoying this. It's not nearly, it's just not nearly as good as when you made it. And I said, well, start at the first, tell me how you did it. By the way, you're hearing a baby cry. That's because we're really cooking here. We really are here with real people. So if you don't like that, change the channel. But we're here to get people well. And now if she starts screaming, then I won't be able to talk. Is that a he or a she? He. So that's what it looks like when it's done. You've seen this when you get a pumpkin ready. But now we just take this and pop it in that pan where we had the paper towel. I've still got that on 3, and I did 2 earlier, so you're going to get to taste it before if this doesn't get done on time. But I'll show you a trick once this gets started. We're going to make spaghetti sauce. Now, I'm going to admit something to you, and I want you to listen to me, because I've been at this 39 years. It looks different to you because you're on the front end of this program. And here are the principles I want to talk about. This needs to be easy if you're going to do it over the long haul. That means that I use things like organic tomato sauce. I know how to make my own. I got all the spices. I know how to do that. But for you, when you don't feel well, when you're trying to get your life back in order, what you want is something that is quick, easy, and highly nutritious. So what I do is I go to the store and I buy a couple of jars of this organic tomato sauce. It says organic tomato basil, organic pasta sauce, and it's got the USDA organic label on there. Now, they could be lying, but if they are, they're going to go to jail. So I'm going to take them at their word that it is organic. What I'm doing is preheating this pan here, and we're going to go with green pepper. We're going to go with celery. This is all organic that I chopped up before you got here. Got it out of their kitchen there. The vegetables here are trucked in from a local organic farm, and they're all organic that you're eating there on the buffet. And then green pepper. Now, I'm not going to put olive oil in the pan. Why? Is olive oil bad? No. I'm not going to put olive oil in the pan because when you put oil on vegetables or meat or anything like that, you're clogging the pores. And the natural oils from that food will not come to the surface to meet the heat. And so when you caramelize without oil, you get the natural goodness of the food. That's what you taste. If you put olive oil in there, you're tasting fried olive oil. I'm not against that, but I'm saying that when I cook chicken, which is your once-a-week treat, a little organic pollo, I heat the pan to about 5 or 6, and then when the pan's nice and warm, I throw that chicken in there without oil, and it sticks immediately. And then once the oils of the chicken come to the surface, caramelize against that pan, it releases the chicken, and you can flip it over and do the other side. But you don't have the fried oil, and the chicken tastes better. My grandkids are absolutely sure when I'm cooking without oil, and they prefer it. They always say, Grandpa, would you make the vegetables in the little pan today? And that's this one here. And I fill it to the top with organic vegetables, put a little water in there, dump the water out, put it on 3, and in 20 minutes I've got organic vegetables cooked below 186 degrees. And the kids just love it because it's a better product. It tastes better. Now, what I do is I wait until I can kind of feel the top. This is already, see? And that is on 3. Think of an electric stove on 2 or 3. That's what we have here. I can even lower it 2, and it'll cook just fine. Now when it's ready, except I open the top, I'll do this in a second. It sticks. It forms, is not burning, and that is a wonderful smell. I mean, it smells terrific. And I'm just going to let those saute a minute. Let me draw your attention to this. Everybody write this down. I want you to go there. This is where my journey started out, the Mayo Clinic. And then that's what I looked like when I was 23 in 1974. I had more hair then. Thanks for pointing that out. Was a little thinner then, about 120 pounds. But that was what I looked like when I was at the Mayo Clinic. That's the closest that I ever came to death, right there. Because, you know, they haul you out of bed, Mick, right? They haul you out of bed so you don't get pneumonia. And I just remember so clearly being depressed, being discouraged, figuring I was going to die real soon. That's pepper. A little bit of salt. I got a little bit of Italiano spice. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to cheat. And I'm going to put that in there. And of course, you take a little of our ionized water then. Waste not, want not. Huh? Uno. Now I know cooking chefs the world over are right now looking at me and going, what a hack. Why is he doing that? Well, because what happens is that about the 7th or 8th week of your diet, you're going to go, honey, I don't know if I can do this. That'll be a horrible day if you ever reach that conclusion. I'm telling you, you can do it. I'm telling you, you should do it. I'm hoping and praying you do it. But I know what happens. Here's what I think. I think about 60, 70% that leave here, within 6 to 9 months, they're off their diet. That's why I do a prep day on Sunday. Every Sunday afternoon, I get home and I go to the grocery store and buy all the organic vegetables and everything. And I cut everything up into proportions, like those carrots that I had already, the mirepoix I already cut up. And I put them in big baggies and put them in the fridge. And then every day we make a big salad. And that's the organic baby mix and the all chopped up. And I just throw that in there. I add the celery, I add the green pepper, I add the carrots, I add the onion. I just, out of the baggies, just take the stuff and throw it in there. Fridays, I get to put a little guilt-free fried chicken that we fried in this without oil, cut them into cubes, put those in there so I have a little chicken at the end of the week. And that goes, and then you stay on the diet, because let me tell you what's going to happen. You're not going to do that prep because you're busy. So you'll walk in there on Wednesday morning at noon, you're hungry, and it's easier to make a peanut butter sandwich than it is to build a beautiful salad with all kinds of nutrition in it. You know how I know? Because I've been there. I've been there for 39 years. And I know if I buy bad food at the store and bring it home, I will eat it, even if it's for company. Because sooner or later, I'm going to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning, wander into the kitchen hungry, no one's looking, no one's around. And I will have half a bag of cookies because they were in the cupboard. If you don't bring it home, you can't eat it. So I eat before I go to the store. I shop the perimeter of the grocery store. I do these mechanical things to help me stay alive. I'm 62 years old. I don't have a lot of the problems that other 62-year-olds have. And why? Time has multiplied what little discipline I've applied to my life to get things working. Time makes everything better The doctors will tell you the things that are not true. They'll say, you only have so much time left. Time is a great multiplier. Put some money in the bank and see what happens to it if you will leave it alone. It multiplies. Put a husband and wife together for a few weeks. They multiply. Put some rabbits in a cage. They multiply. Time multiplies. And the good things that you do will multiply. You can count on it. Let me give you the other side of the coin. The bad things you do will multiply. The numbers of time you walk out of the kitchen and make the wrong choice and eat bad food, eventually it will multiply. You won't get the rewards that you were looking for. Today, we've got this beautiful spaghetti squash going. We got a sauce that's bubbling. Everything here is organic. Everything here is healthy. You see what I mean? And you do this every day to make something that's good. Now, I've got a little book here that I wrote called The Cancer Conundrum. And the Cancer Conundrum is all about what happened to me 39 years ago, and it covers just that first month, and then the story stops. Well, that's not true. I give you a little flash ahead into the future. But these are available. You can get them on Barnes & Noble. You can get them on Amazon. And they'll charge you, I think, $10 plus $4 shipping. So these can be yours for $14. Or I'll sell it to you today for $8. I'll sign it, and I will do the shipping. It's shipped. Want to see it again? Shipped for $8. So I can do credit cards. I can do cash. I can do a chicken if you want to trade me a chicken. I'm open to anything like that. This is a letter that I got from the Mayo Clinic stating that I actually did have cancer because I testified for several Senate investigation committees and was very vocal about my cancer. And the American Cancer Society would always run a corresponding column the next day in the paper saying, we're not sure about his story. So I accused the Mayo Clinic of having misdiagnosed me and that I would sue them. And overnight, I got this letter back saying that they are sure that I was diagnosed correctly, that my slides are preserved in paraffin if a medical doctor wants to come review them. And they're saying, look, buddy, you were sick, we didn't goof, and we don't owe you any money. So I collected that because so many people said he can't be that good and be that healthy and ever have been stage 3 embryonal cell carcinoma. Well, I'm where you're headed. Do you hear me? I'm where you're headed. But you got to do what I did. What I did was for 5 years, I was very strict on this diet. And even today, I try and eat healthy and organic. But for those first 5 years, it was 80% raw. And I know it gets boring. I hear you. But what you got to do is use a little creativity like we're doing here and make some stuff up a little special so that it tastes good. You got to drink things like this hibiscus juice that make it really good and do things a little differently than you've been used to. The good thing about what we're talking about today is that everything I've done to get well in the last 39 years was easy. I walk every day, or I'll try and walk at least 3 to 4 times a week. And it's 2 miles uphill. And I do it every day, and it's not any harder than this. Easy to do. The problem is it's easy not to do. It's also easy to sit there in the divan and look out the window and not do that. And then my lymph system doesn't get pumped. I don't break a sweat. Here's what I did. I changed my diet. I quit eating toxic food. I think spam is probably not a very good food source. I'm glad we had it during World War II. Yes, my father ate lots of it. My mother ate lots of it. And the Yanks survived because we had spam. And if I were starving to death, I'd eat the whole can. I'm not a food Nazi. But I will say that if you have a choice, that is not good food for you to be eating, and you know it. You already know intuitively the good food for you to eat. But in case you go, well, what about this? What about that? I have put in here the Laetrile modified diet. That is the diet that they gave me in 1974 that says in meat, you can do this, this, or not that. Bread, you can do this, this, but not that. And it gives you a really good outline of a general rule to follow. I started a detox program. They asked me when I got to Hippocrates Health Institute in Boston, they said, have you ever changed the radiator or the water in the radiator of your car? They said, yes, I have. They said, well, how did you do it? I said, well, I put a hose in the top and undid the bottom, and when it got clear, I capped it all up, and here we go. They said, good, that's what we want to do with you. I said, where's the hose go? Wasn't what I was hoping for. But I did a whole series of colonics over a 5-year period. Now, a lot of people look at that and they go, oh, no, no, I'm not doing that. You are one sick puppy. No, I'm not. I'm not sick at all because I learned how to flush the pipes. I did a watermelon fast the first 5 years. I would cut the ends off the watermelon, run them through a juicer, the red part and the rind that's connected but not the ends. And I would, for 3 days a week, drink watermelon juice. And it was delicious, and it was nutritious, and it was alkaline. And it had just enough sugar in it to keep me from getting the shakes and having a headache and murdering my children when they entered the room. Well, okay, I lost one. But this is what I did in order to get healthy. I took vitamin supplements. Everybody remember Soupy Sales? Well, Soupy used to take vitamin supplements on his show, and I know you get sick of it. I know what happens, that you got that, where's one here? Somebody hold it up. You got your little vitamin holder with you? No one has it here at lunch. Oh, they're in the room. I thought everybody would have that. Well, here's what you got to know. I got sick 39 years ago. I probably bought $40,000 to $50,000 worth of vitamins since I got sick and swallowed all of them. I've had people looking at me, my own father looked at me and said, that is the stupidest thing I think I've ever seen. And I said, well, Dad, here's the deal. It beats chemotherapy. So you got to decide. You got to decide. Mark Hyman, MD, says that gluten contributes to inflammation. Watch this. This is from the Huffington Post. Your immune system starts attacking these foreign proteins, leading to systematic inflammation that causes heart disease, dementia, cancer, diabetes, and more. I'm not saying a loaf of bread causes cancer. What I am saying is you may want to take a look at reducing the amount of gluten in your daily diet. I had a blood test that showed that I had anti-gliadin, where I was allergic in my body, showed it. You can get this blood test for a few dollars, 20, 30 bucks at home. But I eat gluten-free everything. I eat gluten-free bread. These are gluten-free noodles. If you're not crazy about the squash, we could cook up some of these gluten-free spaghetti noodles and you could eat those. Not as nutritious as the squash, but clearly will work. I'm going to pass out some gluten-free Italian breadsticks that you can have with today's sampling. And these you can buy at any kind of a health food store, or even a lot of grocery stores carry this stuff now. But I got into it big time. Exercise. I've already told you about the walking. I know when you're not feeling well, you don't think about exercise. But can I read you this? You're right, Alan, I'm out of the shot. Harvard Medical School found that breast cancer patients who exercise 3 to 5 hours a week cut their odds of dying by how much? Half. By the way, this is not a weeds and seeds guy. This is not someone who hums and lights candles and hopes for the best. This is a Harvard Medical School, says that if you'll do moderate exercise, 3 to 5 times a week, not a day, or a month. No, 3 to 5 hours a week that you can cut your odds of dying by half. If I were you, I'd get myself some sneakers. You don't have to join a gym. You don't have to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. But come on, put one foot in front of the other until you sort of break a little sweat. Then go home. And then the next day, do it a little farther. Then go home. Next day, do it a little farther. Then go home. No one's keeping track. But I want you to get well. And the only way I know to get you well are the things that we're talking about. This is my last slide. And then we're going to have some of the squash and a breadstick. And you can sort of sample the goods. If you're still hungry, go to the buffet, the organic buffet they have here, 3 times a day. By the way, they don't do that when you get home. Did I mention that? You get home and you go, where's the buffet? I want that buffet. And it's not there. Why is it? Someone would come here, pay the money, and it was almost twice as much money when I came, incidentally. And all they did was lay a trail. No food, no bed, lay a trail in the arm. That's it. It was about twice as much money. And I'm glad to have it. I was glad they were around. Why would someone come here, do all of this, and then go home and go right back on McDonald's and smoking cigarettes? Well, doesn't it seem to you like these people have pretty much decided to throw in the towel? That their life is not worth saving? What I did was when I got here, I said, how about you, Rick? Is your life worth saving? Dr. Francisco Contreras is here.
We've done several of these. I just want to let you know that
I'm going to plate you up a little something here.
If you get the hang of how to make your food,
can you hold that, sir?
The biggest hurdle in getting better is the diet for all people. And if you learn how to do these things that, you know, at the beginning is like, what? They're not appealing.
Give me a fork, would you?
And you can make it taste good, your life is going to change. Okay, there's going to be sacrifices that you make with diet, but if what you're eating is actually tasteful and good, then the sacrifice is not that big.
Now what I'm doing for Dr. Contreras is I'm taking this fork and I'm going on this spaghetti squash.
Let me show it to you. It's really amazing. The first time I tasted this, from afar, it actually looks like spaghetti.
In other words, you just scrape it out of there.
This thing has very little taste, so the sauce actually makes it, if you close your eyes, you actually think that you're eating spaghetti.
Now, the last time I made this for Dr. Contreras, because he's not in his first 5 years of treatment, I put hamburguesa. I put a hamburger in there. It was organic. Mm-hmm. Today I did not.
It's probably better. So I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're participating in all of this. I need to run, unfortunately.
Okay. Thank you for stopping in.
And I just want you to be encouraged that you can learn to do this at home, because it's daunting for many of you. Once you get back home, you feel completely lost. So we want to give you as much information and hands-on things to learn.
A breadstick.
And that's actually
he
quite
says
good.
that if it's horrible, so you know. But he doesn't go back for seconds if it's horrible.
And so take advantage. For those of you that are not from the States, from England, last time I was there, the amount of organically grown foods on the marketplace it's actually quite encouraging. In America, you can find everything now that's organic. But even in England, you can find that. In Germany, the same. So it's going to be easier for you. I just wanted to come and say hello and taste it, see if it did okay.
Dr. Francisco Contreras. Okay, what I need you to do is bring me your plate, or grab a different one if you want, but I will plate you up. Who wants this first one? Now, there's salt and pepper up here if you want to hit it again. I didn't put much in there. Just come on up, and I will give you a little bit of this. We'll just give you a little in case you didn't like it.
Is there something you use if people are really into the cheese on top of there?
You can get some organic cheese
nothing substitute that you kind of...
Not if you're going to do it once a week or so.
Right.
Yeah, you wouldn't need to.
Secret.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay, a little salt and pepper there if you want. Trust you, my grandkids know what this stuff is. And they like it. And once everybody's been served, if you want to come back for a little more, you're welcome to come back. I'm not taking it home. You know, you can get quite a bit out of one.
Yes, quite surprising.
Grab a breadstick. A little more salt and pepper if you want, if you like that. That's
Thank
right
you.
there. Is it okay? Is it good? Do you like the squash? Wonderful? Okay, we get some, everybody's smiling, so no one's choking or leaning over. All right, all good news. I think your life is worth saving. I think it's worth it to quit eating the bad food, start eating the good food, and do whatever you've got to do to get your life organized so that you can live another 39 years. I made up my life it was worth saving when I was here. And therefore, it didn't seem like a big sacrifice to eat the right things. And that's what I want for you. So on behalf of the entire Oasis of Hope Health Group and the Cooking with the Doctor show, my name's Rick Hill. This will be online that you can view again, probably see yourself, at www.cancersupportshow.com. It's free. You don't need a password. You don't have to sign anything. This is for you to feel good when you get home and have some support. I thank you for watching.